taking a few minutes today to go through and give you guys a quick property walkthrough of the land where we do our level 4 knife only class. This is at the tail end of a dirt road up in Oklahoma. I have to send you a pin drop when you register for the class because we don't actually have a street address. Come in way up at the top of the mountain over there, come across the valley. This is all dirt roads coming in. Usually is about 20 minutes of driving up the dirt road. We are at the tail end of the dirt road. It's on a 50-acre block up at the top of the mountain. Let's take you guys on a quick walking tour. This dirt road comes up the far east side of the property. Land line goes about 50 meters just that way. As we're coming up, I'll turn the bend here, and this is where all of the actual sort of parking happens. The only real civilization we have up here is a little bit of a turnaround where we've got the gas company has a well out here, so they are responsible for maintaining the roads. The roads coming in are rough, definitely highly advisable to drive something in with pretty decent clearance. Doesn't have to be a four-wheel drive, but that certainly makes it easier. Now we're coming up on the well here, and this is just kind of where we park and turn around. So our property line juts in right back here, just above the dirt road, comes straight across over where this storage tank is, and then turns and goes up to the top of the mountain. So our property runs all the way up to the top of the mountain up there, and then pretty good ways out to the west here. I'll take you guys out in the woods and show you what it looks like. There's always water up here. We have a spring that feeds a lot of the moisture. Starts over there on the hillside where those willows are, and filters down the property. And there's a creek that runs about halfway through the property. Almost bisects it in half. We obviously have a lot of the normal woodland creatures. Topo's over here trying to dig something out of its shelter right now. We do have at least one big cat on property. By big, I mean bigger than bobcat, like actually mountain lion. There's at least 4 bear that we keep catching on game cameras that live on property. And then all the other normal offenders. Further up the mountain you move, it's all predominantly hardwoods. It's oak and hickory. And then as you move further down the mountain, it's a lot more cedar and pine. So right now we're kind of in that band where the two start to meet. So this little spot right here has a little bit of both. As you can see, we have more than our fair share of rocks and boulders. But this does get to be the runoff from the top of the mountain. It all channels through here. Got some nice big open draws across here, so you can get lots of up and down. There are some old road beds up here where this was logged years ago. Every once in a while you'll find them and recognize it as a road bed. This is clearly one of those old road beds. It continued up through there. Now it's full of pine trees, but you can see how the hill's cut out, making room to log through here. It climbs, goes all the way up there. And then all the way down. So you can see not a ton of flat terrain other than the turnaround. Actually, you can see the water starting just down there. There's a little glint. Must be the first remnants of it coming out of the spring. As you work your way up and down these draws, a couple spots you get off, you got some pretty nice views across the valley. We are here, we're about at least a half an hour from the closest gas station. Probably a little more than that to like real civilization. So it's pretty far remotely. pretty far remotely removed. So from here, we're about halfway up the mountain. Still goes quite a ways up. But you're starting to see the valley out, opening up in front of us. You'll also notice up here, yeah, it's almost all entirely heartwoods as you look up that way. Do have quite a few elm trees out here, a few willow, some Mexican plum trees, nice little hodgepodge of different things. You can tell this place is lumbered sometime in the not too distant past. We've been on the property now for almost 10 years. It's definitely grown up a bit. There's still a lot of small growth trees. The bigger trees that we have do usually have some weird funky growth on there. I'm not sure if it's just how much wind we get up here coming across the top of the mountain or what, but they always look pretty gnarly. Yeah, see, fat wood just laying all over the place up here. That's the leftover pines. You get these little odd openings where it's just really wide open. You'll get other places that's much more congested. We've got our fair share of turkeys, some hogs, a lot of deer, all the fun stuff. Topo down here getting our quick drink from the creek. Other than having dog paws in it, the water is always super clear because it is all spring fed. Never has a ton of water in it, but it usually has some. So some years you have to walk a little bit further down, especially during the summer when things get a little drier. You have to walk a little bit further down the mountain to get to it, but it's usually not too terribly far. We're down kind of toward the bottom now, so more pines with thicker scrub brush, things like that. We're on the far north side of the property. Slowly working our way back toward the road. Tope, come. This was my feeder where I've been feeding deer, and the bears decided to come down here and tear the cage off of it and feed themselves. So they completely wrecked my feeder. Although I had some great pictures of the bears hanging upside down for my feeder. You guys are probably picking up on the fact that right now that there's not a lot of level ground out here. You pretty much have to work for everything you're getting. It's a beautiful piece of property. It doesn't give anything to you for free. You do occasionally have these little glow-in-the-dark dots out on the trees. Occasionally some dots and a little bit of flagging tape just to help the students get back up to the main road if they need to in the middle of the night. But we're usually just within earshot of them too. And we pretty much check on everyone constantly during class. We've almost come full circle. The road's going to be just up here. Popped out on the main trail here. Coming across, this is a little road where we turn in and camp sometimes. This is going to bring us right back to the dirt road. And we're going to turn uphill and head south. We basically just made a huge big square around the property. Actually, that little flag right in there is where our property line starts and moseys up the hill.